Well, hello and welcome back to Guna Gathering. We've got a surprise guest here. My name is Posh Bertie. I am the poshest man in all of sports entertainment. Joining me, first off, we have, hopefully his internet is fine, is the great Sam Wilson. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm good. I finally found the crux of my. It was never Wi-Fi in the first place. It was always the laptop. So in the new year, when a new laptop has been acquired, you should be able to see me on camera again. But for now, you just got the me speaking, I guess, and whatever that is in the middle of the circle.
That's okay. And in an impromptu moment, we have Guna Gathering's founding father. I called him in last minute just in case there's any problems with Sam's internet. He's fine at the moment, but it's always nice to have our founding father here with a magnificent Arsenal top he's wearing. It's Guna Lee Meads. How are you?
Hello, everybody. I'm all right, mate. I'm in the middle of cooking Yorkshire puddings.
Oh, we're going to have a mukbang. Excellent. But yeah.
No. Don't get McDonald's onto us, mate. We're not doing the mukbang. We're just going to cook along, everybody. 70 grams of flour, 2 eggs. I've got some milk ready. Oil in the Yorkshire pudding pan. In a very hot oven. That's the key to this. And we'll be laughing.
So there are Andrew Dingle puddings, then, I take it.
Absolutely. God bless Yorkshire.
Well, not only are we here for Yorkshire pudding-related reasons, but we're also here to speak about Arsenal's 2-2 draw against Sunderland at the Stadium of Light on Saturday. So to start things off, obviously before the game started, we were coming into the game on the back of a phenomenal clean sheet record, and we were winning a lot of games. Can't remember how many in a row, but it was certainly a lot. Eight. Thank you very much. The momentum was with us going into the game, but I also did think this won't be an easy game. Sunderland have looked very impressive at the start of so far, so I knew it wasn't going to be easy.
Sam, it's going to be a whiskey game, mate.
Well, not as whiskey as robbing a bank. Sam, how did you feel about going into the game?
I must admit, I hadn't watched any Sunderland games before, so I was in for a very short, like, I'm going to get my words out. I was in for a little bit of a shock, that's for sure. If I hadn't have seen the scoreboard, I would have thought we'd have gone back a couple of years and we were just watching Arsenal Stoke, but we move on.
I mean, but based on how we've been playing, you'd think we'd been watching Stoke versus Stoke, but that's by the by. No. I think, Lee, if you were able to speak with us, how did you feel going into the game? Were you as cautious as I was? Because we know how good Sunderland looks.
I'm fine. Leave me alone.
Hello, Stacey.
Stacey in the background, of course. Now, I was cautious as well, just like you were, mate. They've made an exceptional start to the season. I thought away at Stadium of Light, I thought was going to be tricky anyway. I did feel we had enough to win the match. I mean, must be honest, but I didn't think it was going to be very easy.
No, I didn't think it was going to be easy either. Just want to say hello to AFC Always in the chat, who says, Arteta took a gamble to hang on to the lead. We had no out ball up front and low energy due to lack of subs. Definitely 2 points dropped. It feels like a loss. We'll get to the lack of subs in a minute. All I'm going to say is the one time I actually wanted Arteta to be cautious, he wasn't. I
think we're going to disagree.
We'll cross the bridge when we get there. We'll see when we get there. The starting 11. So I believe, and I'm doing this from memory, it was Raya in goal, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, Rice, Zubimendi, and Eze, Saka, Trossard, and our big striker Mikel Merino up front due to Gyökeres's injury. For me, I know he started in the Champions League in midweek, but I would have started Hincapié at left back because I think we need to be a bit more. We knew that Sunderland were going to pose a threat. We needed to be a bit more solid at the back. Whilst there are times when Calafiori has been decent for us, I think he's better off going forward than he is defensively. Sam, what did you make of the starting 11?
I think it's with a couple of injuries what we could do, isn't it? I don't think, unfortunately, at the moment we've got. Hopefully, after the international break, I hear things are going to be a little bit better. But certainly, if you look at our bench from the start of the season to the weekend, it's looking a hell of a lot thinner than it did before. So I don't think we really had much choice. I think that's the lineup he was kind of forced to play, unfortunately.
No, fair enough. What about you, Mr. Meadows? What did you make of the starting 11?
Exactly what I expected. I didn't expect any changes. The thought did go to my head that he might play the young striker that played against Brighton, but then I thought no, he'll probably go Marino, and he didn't do a bad job in fairness, but very much as expected. Regarding Hincapié, you know what? Yeah, he's gradually coming through, and it's interesting to read a lot of very nice things about him, but it would take a lot of shifting for Calafiori and Timber to move from fullback positions after they've started, in my opinion.
I get that. I think we're going to speak more on Hincapié in a minute, but I think from what I've seen when he's been starting, whether it was at centre back against Brighton or at left back against Prague, I've been really impressed by him so far. We've got a lot of options in defence. Our depth is very good in defence at the moment. That's just because all of our injuries have been in the same position, which is attack. So so we'll get to the nitty gritty now. So the first half overall was very tough for us. We didn't play as well as I wanted us to, and I think. For me, I think the first Sunderland goal was coming from a mile off as Lee whisks his his food there.
It's much like Tottenham; it gets battered everywhere it goes.
Oh well, very much
Thank
so.
you.
Also, a 2-2 draw thanks to a last minute equaliser. Dan Ballard, former Arsenal academy player. Finds a lot of space, just whacks it in the net past Raya, and it's 1-0 Sunderland. For me, they kind of deserved that in the first half. I didn't think we were playing well in the first half at all, really. We were losing a lot of jewels, as they say. Sam, what do you make of the goal? And do you think we didn't play as well in the first half?
I think it's a bit. I don't fully agree with the deserve that, because I think if we'd have. I think they defended well in the first half, but quote me if I'm wrong, I think that was genuinely their first chance in that first half. I think they had half chance before that, but that was their first proper chance that they scored from. So, yes, we didn't play fantastically. We were struggling to break them down when they just literally housed every single player behind the ball for the full 45. So, I do think we weren't doing the simple things. We were trying too hard. I was sat there going, right, well, you're kind of passing it around, but then there's nothing. So maybe just try and put it in the box or do something different. So it was very kind of same old, same old. So yeah, we didn't play fantastically. But I don't necessarily think they deserved. I'm not going to take any credit away from they defended well in the first 45, but I can't fully agree with that they deserved to score. I think they just took a chance that came to them, really.
For me, the goal was coming because we weren't making our chances count. What do you make of it, Mr. Meadows?
I thought they made it very difficult for us to start, mate. I don't think we made as quick a start as we would have probably liked. I agree with
That's what I
that.
was referring to, yeah.
But then again, it's a credit to Sunderland and how they've started. That I wasn't totally surprised how well they started. If you understand what I mean. I think we took our time getting into the game. It probably took the goal from a player that Arteta released. Can you believe it, Posh?
Yes, absolutely.
Unbelievable
He was
manager. Why
released
would he
in
do that?
2022. 2022 he was released. Arteta was our manager. So, yeah.
So it's all the blame on him, right?
I mean, he's the manager, isn't he? So
He is. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he'd get him ahead of Gabriel Saliba,
no.
Mosquera, and anyone else. But I like the fact. I've got to say, so he had such a part to play in Sunderland's promotion as well. Obviously in the playoffs as well. It's kind of nice to see him doing well. Wasn't so nice seeing him score against us, obviously, but he started the season really strongly. If it wasn't for that little bit of an injury he had at the start, he probably would have played a bit more as well.
Well, it could have been worse. We could have had another ex-Arsenal player score for Sunderland.
That would have been really bad, to be fair, especially with our history against him.
It might be good to touch on him a bit because I think there was a contention for him to. I imagine you've got that.
I've not, but you've just reminded me.
Okay.
I think that happened when we were winning, so we're going to chronologically critique it, as OSW would say. AFC always says, "What's the point of having squad depth if Arteta doesn't use it?" We'll get to the substitutions, but I think there was a lack of depth in attack because of the injuries. But then again, this isn't bad luck anymore. This is the second season in a row we're having all these injuries. So, yeah.
How dare you pull your muscles, lads?
Oh, well, mate. Well, we're not privy to anything, but could it be training methods? I've always suggested this. It's just something to look into.
Yeah, I don't think it even just. It goes back further than Arteta as well, doesn't it? We've always had this kind of this something looming over our training ground that just means we get a heck of a lot more injuries than most other teams do in training and stuff. So it's always been in question, hasn't it? Even way before Arteta and stuff, because we had a torrid time of injuries under Wenger and stuff as well. So yeah, it's but again, it's just guesswork, isn't it? It's complete guesswork from everyone because we're not privy to any of that.
Yes.
You don't see this. The number of injuries we have, you don't see it happen at any other Premier League club. So this is why I don't think it's bad luck or a curse at all. It's something that we're doing that's causing this. But yeah,
It's always been your view, Posh, and I admire you for carrying it on. I don't know if I agree with it, but I respect your opinion, sir.
It's just frustrating getting all these injuries, and we see it seems to be us. But anyway, half time came around. Obviously, we needed to turn it around, and we needed a much better performance in the second half. And you know what? Before we do get to the equaliser, I did notice a big mentality change for us in the second half. Obviously, I'm not going to be all gung-ho with that considering the result, but I did notice you could tell we were really, as the cool kids say, we were cooking, as they say. We were looking to get a bit like Lee Meadows here. He was cooking to get an equaliser. We played a lot better.
If you smell.
Yes, if you smell what the Arsenal are cooking. And I think we played a lot better in the second half, and that was before the equaliser. What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, we did. I think the thing is, as I look at the season up to this point, we've not really come against this. We're going to put every single man that we've got on the pitch behind the ball and I hope that we can take our one chance. We've not really come up against that. So it was a kind of, right, okay, what can we do differently? I don't know what it was we started to do differently. I've got no clue. But we suddenly started to find gaps, whether they were tired from just literally parking the bus and following our every move or what it was. But it was just sudden that we started to look like something was going to happen.
No, fair enough. I don't think Lee's available. He's muted himself, but we'll get to the equaliser. Lovely move. I can't remember who got the assist, but the ball went to Saka. And now I was quite critical of Saka. I thought that he didn't play as well in the first half. I thought he looked a little bit tired. Almost as if you shouldn't be rushing him back from a long-term injury or something. But I think, but
really,
I think
Saka,
it was Trossard. I think it was Trossard that played the ball into Saka. I think
that okay. So we'll go. Well, whoever it was, good ball into Saka, and he needed that goal. And yeah, it was good to see him score after what I thought wasn't the best of performances from him until that goal happened. So we needed that equaliser, and it was a nice finish, wasn't it, Sam?
Yeah, it was. I think it was just, as I was watching the game, I was thinking we're not really going to have many chances here. So the ones that we are going to have, we're really going to have to take. Else we're going to be in trouble. So thankfully that was taken, and yeah, it was yeah, like I said, I don't know what was said at half time, but it came out completely polar opposite to the first half. So so yeah, it was obviously pleasing that we could get ourselves back into the game, because at 1-0 at half time I genuinely was fairly worried and thinking, right, we're in a bit of bother here, like where is this goal going to come from? So it was thankful that we made that quick change and that quick start really to the second half.
Mr. Meadows, here he is. Well, you did the Shane McMahon dance a little bit there. Yeah.
I'm dancing, Posh. I'm dancing.
What did you make of Saka's equaliser?
Very typical of him, getting into the penalty area, finding a little bit of space, shifting the ball onto his other foot to score. It's what you expect from a captain's contribution, you might say.
No, absolutely, and he needed that goal, as I mentioned.
As did our whole of Arsenal, actually, because it was, we're getting to a bit of a stage where time's sort of moving on, and like you're wondering, bit iffy, this, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think we deserved to get the equaliser in the second half because we played a lot better. Just going to address some comments in the chat. AFC always says Arteta should have taken Rice off in the 70th minute. Rice looked knackered. I think a lot of our players look knackered, but that's when I say he left it till late, he left it till very late to make substitutions. I think he should have made a bit more earlier subs. We'll get to that soon. But yeah, although then again, the tactics I had changed, because when we were 1-0 down in the second half, I was saying we should get players like Wanyeri, get MLS on as well for a bit more attacking options. And when we were winning, I kind of changed the way I set up and thought, all right, let's be a bit more cautious here.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think a lot of our players look tired, but that's what happens when you don't make subs until stoppage time. And BX Gunner is in the chat saying, greetings, everyone. Good evening, BX.
It was Moreno, the assist, before somebody fact checks us and says we did it wrong.
Thank you, Sam. Well done, mate. Good work.
But we deserved the equaliser, and we deserved to go in front as well, because we were still playing very well. And I mean, as far as goals go, what an absolute belter from Leandro Trossard. Now, I remember at the start of the season when news came out that he was going to be getting a contract extension, or a 1-year contract extension and a pay rise. We thought, really? I thought he'd be someone that they were going to to cash in on in order to maybe get another attacker because he's getting on a bit, and he wasn't the same player last season as he was 2 seasons ago. But he's proved, he has proved me wrong so far this season. He's done very well, and he's turned back into the big game player that I've said he was 2 seasons ago, because that was certainly a goal from a big game player. What an absolute belter. Right in the net. The keeper had no chance. It was just outside the box. Mm-hmm. We were in front. Sam, what do you make of that great effort from Leo?
Yeah, no, I think there was quite a few people that were saying the same thing at the start of the season, because obviously when you've got the squad the size that we have, you've kind of got to think, oh, right, okay, we need this amount of players in each position. But it's certainly one that they made the right call on, because I was even thinking, right, okay, but surely it would be better to get somebody else in. But obviously, even if we'd have got somebody else in, Martinelli would have probably got injured still. So he's proved us wrong a lot, because I was saying when he's been getting pretty much starting every game, I was thinking, right, where's Martinelli? He's getting coming into form. Where's he going? But I think he's proving that he's just that, among a lot of young players, he's that experienced head that goes, do you know what? I might not have won the amount that some of the other players my age have, but I've been around a long time. So it's really good for the younger players, I think, to have that. I think you've got to have that in any winning team. It's no good just having 11 younger players. So no, I think he's proving week in, week out that we made the right call in doing everything we could to kind of keep him.
And before I come to Mr. Meadows, I'm going to address BX Gunner's comment that says, if I'm being honest, all 4 goals scored in a match were fantastic offerings. A bit of individual brilliance on display. Arsenal bias aside, there was entertainment. There certainly was. I think all 4 goals were very good from both teams. And I think, as I said, it was a bit of a roller coaster for an Arsenal fan, but it was a very good game for a neutral to watch. But yeah, and as we said, Sunderland have been a good side for the majority of this season so far, and they certainly tested us. They broke the streak was over. The clean sheet streak finished courtesy of Dan Ballard. Anyway, Lee, what an effort from Trossard. What did you make of it?
A bit like a Randy Orton RKO, mate. He was sort of it was on that left-hand side. And he finished with such power and accuracy, about 20 yards out or so, mate. I think it was really nicely played. It's funny because you thought, okay, here we go, normal service resumed. Arsenal are going to win now. We're going to keep them out, no problems. And it was a lovely moment for Trossard. You give him his flowers. Obviously, he got his new contract, or at least he's got his pay rise. Good for him. Don't get that at us, door. I'm joking.
He's shooting on him. You don't work yourself into a shoot, brother.
But in all seriousness, it was a really lovely finish. And you feel at that stage of the game, maybe Arsenal were going to see it through. But unfortunately, it wasn't quite the case, was it, Posh?
No, I think there's a couple more things to get into before we get to that. BX Gunner says Trossard's strike was sweeter than Doku's. I think both of goals were very good. Yeah,
sweet.
Very, very similar as well. Very similar, kind of out of nowhere. Sort of, I'm going to take this game to myself now.
2 great goals from 2 Belgians. AFC always says, to be honest, I'm not bothered if we did concede. It's all about getting the 3 points. These records mean nothing if we don't win the league. I get that. It's nice to have these records, and but at the same time, we gotta win stuff rather than get these records. I'm not bothered if we break Chelsea's clean sheet record or not. I just want us to win a trophy because. Again, I was 3 years old the last time Arsenal won a league. So when people accuse me of being impatient, that's why,
Just a little thought from my end. That the way we've been playing maybe up until Saturday, kind of reminded me of some good old days of gone
George
by.
Graham.
The George Graham era, where it was 1-0 to the Arsenal. Arsenal scored one goal and they're through, and it was so typical of under that George regime, for scoring a sort of a free kick, maybe a Stevie Bold flick, and a Tony Adams score, or Wrighty scored, or whatever it would have been. And the way that we've started the season started to feel a bit like the vibes of that. I know we might have had a bit more flashier football in the seasons gone by, but up until Saturday, where we were having such a nice run, it was so good to see them win after win after win, and even in a draw, wasn't the worst result in the world. In all fairness, we'll see what it means come the end of the season, of course.
I get that, but
I'm going to be off screen for a bit, mate.
Okay, no worries. I'm just saying, looking at our fixtures coming up,
difficult run. I think you're absolutely right. Tottenham next.
That's why I would have preferred to get a win against Sunderland. As difficult as it would have been, I would have preferred it to get a win, considering a lot of momentum coming back from the international break, going into some big games coming up in the league and in the Champions League.
That's why I brought those ones over to you.
But Judge.
But it's but I guess the only thing that I can take as a positive, because obviously on Saturday, anybody that was watching the game with me was very unfortunate, because I was still feeling very hard done by after the lunchtime game. So I was quite wound up, I shall say. What was I going to go and say? Yeah, but in seasons gone by, those were the games that we would have lost. So those were the games when I think we need to be like, the one reflection is we need to be a little bit stronger with the teams that are going to try and, I don't want to say cheat, because they didn't, but they're using the dark art, stopping us from playing football. Basically, was one of their tactics.
Well, that's what we've been using last season, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I just think that was my reflection on it. Years gone by, I think we would have maybe completely bottled it. I hate to use the word bottle, because that's going to be another gripe of mine. But like, we would have completely lost the plot in that game, I think, in years gone by, and probably lost it. So I think we've done really well up to this stage to be in a position where a point's not great, but it's not going to be catastrophic, because we've done a lot of good work before the weekend to be in a good position enough for it not to be catastrophic and too major.
I get that. So should we talk about, you want to talk about a certain former Arsenal player getting in the face of Mikel Merino?
Mm-hmm.
Granit Xhaka, the Premier League. Yeah, I get that AFC away, but I also wanted to point out, as well as those four, we've also got Bayern Munich at home. So we've got not just 4 but 5 difficult fixtures in all competitions. That's what I was referring to, Mr. AFC always. But as in the words of Michael Cole, it was vintage Granit Xhaka. Getting in the face of one of our players. Did it bring you back?
I tried to forget that he was actually playing for the other team at certain points during the match, I thought. Because he didn't really have a game where he was that influential, to be honest. I didn't really see much of him on the ball. I saw him using the dark arts a few times, and I think he's very fortunate, to be honest. If I look back at the tackle that he made just before Zubamendi got the yellow card, he was very lucky to escape a yellow card, because that was probably the worst foul of the day in that first one. And then obviously he got a yellow card in the second half. So I think he was an incredibly lucky boy to be on the pitch, to be fair. But yeah, it was just, obviously we know exactly what was going to happen. It's happened a lot of times when he played for us and went in a in the wrong way, but obviously for him it went right. But yeah, I do think there was 2 occasions where, yeah, he was incredibly fortunate to be there.
Lee, that's
and on the
product
pitch.
placement. We don't want to have to pay extra money. But
Gravy.
Bistor. But yeah, what did you see Granit Xhaka getting in the face of Marino, Mr. Meadows? Did it bring you back to the good old days?
Look, I might have missed that particular incident because I was actually in transit at the time, but I wanted to chirp in and just say it might have been on record a couple of times that I might have not been Granit Xhaka's biggest fan, and certainly
Xhaka-free
us.
zone.
I know, right? Certainly in amongst the 3 of us and our time at Cannon Chatter. Hello, Stephen, if you're watching. That he might not have been our favourite, but signing for Sunderland this season is their club captain now. He's had such a tremendous start to the season. You look at the stats amongst the Premier League midfielders and all the people that are ball winners in the league. He's been amazing, such an influence. It was a heck of a signing, in fairness to Sunderland. So, and with him there, it's not really a surprise to me that they've started so well.
No, fair enough. I mean, he was very good when he was at Bayer Leverkusen, and he's continuing that at Sunderland. All right, let's stop stalling. We've got to talk about the equaliser in stoppage time. Now, I think before that there was a very good save from David Raya to deny Sunderland. Before that, so they certainly were knocking on the door, and this was why I was saying we need to be a bit more cautious now. We need to just shut up shop and make some more defensive substitutions. So bringing on Mascara, I get that, but I would have taken off Calafiori and brought on Hincapié, because Calafiori's better off going forward than he is in defence. And that's why I wanted Hincapié, be a bit more solid at the back to try and make sure we can run down the clock. So that is actually what we are good at. We are, until Saturday, good at running down the clock and keep making sure we can hold on to a win. But on this occasion, Brian Broby, I think 90 plus 4, so 3 minutes with 3 minutes to go in the game, scores a last few minutes equaliser, and it really was a kick in the teeth because we're so used to holding on to leads like that. But yeah, what did you make of it, Sam? Do you think we should have been a bit more defensive with our subs, or should have made more subs, that kind of thing? Or what did you make of the equaliser?
I don't necessarily think it would have made. It's very easy for us to say making that change would have made a difference. I don't think it would have done, if that makes any sense, because I think they were. Of course, but I think they were. I don't know. There was just something about it that they had a couple of spells in the game where they'd gone from just holding fort and just defending for their lives, but they had kind of 2 spells, like towards the end of the game, and then obviously then they scored, where they genuinely looked like they could have scored loads more. So it's really bizarre because it was kind of like they'd put the handbrake on for like 85 out of 90 minutes, but then use that 5 minutes where they didn't have the handbrake on to look like that they were going to score loads. So it was really bizarre because towards that end, I think, we could have lost it. Like you mentioned the couple of saves that Raya made before as well. And I even think there was a little half chance after they scored as well. So,
this is why I was saying we need to make a bit more defensive subs, was my suggestion.
Yeah,
the one time I actually wanted Arteta to be more defensive, he doesn't do it.
I just think it was just sometimes things are meant to happen. And I just think it was meant to happen that we were meant to draw this game, because I think as we've been playing most of the weeks, we would have won that game 2-1. I just think it was written in the stars for that to happen, to be honest. But yeah, it's really important now how we bounce back from it, because we can't spend any time kind of going, oh well, let's feel sorry for ourselves because we've lost the clean sheet record. Now we've drawn 2-2, and we can't be doing that. We need to bounce straight back. Like, obviously we've got the international break now, so there's a little bit of, and hopefully, fingers crossed, from what I'm seeing, we're going to get a couple of the players back that we're missing.
Excellent point, sir.
But yeah, it's how we bounce back from it now, because it's the why I stayed clear of, like I mentioned in the group chat, why I stayed clear of the social media and stuff, because everybody's going, oh my God, they're starting to bottle it again, and stuff like this. And I'm thinking, not being funny, everybody else has been dropping points left, right, and centre, but as soon as we drop 2, everybody's going into full-blown meltdown again. And it makes you laugh, because yeah, we just need to prove them wrong now, basically. We just need to go into the next game and go, do you know what? It's impossible to...
Yeah, Lee, put your meat away.
That's X-rated content, that is.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's impossible. It's impossible to go through a league like the Premier League without dropping points. So it's really rich from all the other fans that are going, oh, well, you've dropped 2 points and now that's it. You're going to not do anything again. And it makes you laugh, because they've got nothing else to say against us now. They've run out of insults and excuses. So they're just going to use the same one again and again. So I really hope we can prove them wrong.
BX Gunner says genius of a finish, the equaliser. And
I was going to jump in and say I completely agree with that statement. The equaliser goal was a spectacular finish. Got no complaints on the acrobatics of the finish. He did brilliantly to get that the touch on the ball ahead of our defenders. No complaints on this side regarding the finish. You mentioned about the defensive substitutions, lack thereof. I will sort of kind of defence him and say he did take Eze off, and he did bring the centre half Mascara off. What I would have done myself, I would have done that, and I might have put Lewis Skelly on instead of Trossard, protecting the left-hand side a little bit. But that was just me. But the way that Sunderland played, and you could see the equaliser was coming, unfortunately. It's just one of them things. We move on, I think, is the expression.
AFC always says Raya has to improve his positioning when from direct free kicks. I've noticed this on several occasions. His positioning makes it almost impossible for him to get his hand on the ball.
I'm not going to take this Raya slander, because, I'm not being funny. The amount of times, yes, as a goalkeeper, it's not happening to not make a single mistake. And the amount of times, yes, he does make little mistakes, but the amount of times he actually saves us, and did towards the end of that game, from actually losing that game as well. I think people are really, really easy to go, oh, well, he's not very good at this or he's not good at that. But the amount of times he's actually saved us from losing games and dropping points is massive. It's huge. He's got so many extra points. He made before the equaliser. Yeah, he's got so many points just by making these incredible saves. So yeah, I'm not going to take any of the rubbish on him, because it's bizarre.
Remind me, lads, what happened to the chap who he replaced?
Exactly, he's now a bench warmer again.
Exactly. And no disrespect to Ramsdale, because he had a heck of a character. But I agree wholeheartedly with Sam. Ray, excellent goalkeeper. I'm not going to take the criticism for him. Just as my opinion, I don't think there was an awful lot he could have done from that sort of finish from inside the area. It was a terrific finish.
Yeah. BX says, am I gutted about the draw? Yes, but not dejected over it. We're going to come back stronger after the break. I hope we do, because I'm going to mention we've got some big fixtures coming up after
You are not wrong there, mate.
It's going to be a huge mentality test, I think, for us. So we do have to come back
Gonna
stronger.
be a big show.
Hopefully, we won't get any more injuries throughout the internationals, and some players can come back from injury after the international break. Certain attacking players as well. AFC always says Skelly, Wanieri, and Dowman all should have come on at some point in the second half. I disagree with you with Max Dowman, but I still think he's too young. But
Agreed, Posh. Absolutely agree with you there, mate.
I think both of them
oh, go on.
to an extent. Sorry, I think both of them to an extent are as well. I think obviously Ethan, we kind of forget about his age as well. And I think it would have been really unkind to certainly throw Ethan and Max into the game that was just, yeah, it's not a game you want to, like, unless you're a seasoned player in this league, it's not a game you want to be put into because it's not like any other game.
It would have been something I was considering when we were losing in the second half. However, when we started playing well after the equaliser and we were in front, I thought, okay, let's be a bit different with the substitutions. Let's be a bit more cautious. Make subs, but solidify us a bit more. As I mentioned, Hincape on for Calafiori would have been, that almost would have been a no-brainer for me, just to make sure that the left-hand side was more protected, in my view. But yeah, so the game ended 2-2. We've got an international break coming up. Now, I do agree that, obviously, look, we are still top of the league. We're now 4 points clear at the top because Man City beat Liverpool on Sunday. And so the gap has narrowed. Now, on paper, it is still not the end of the world, right? We're still top and things like that. But the thing is, we've got tough fixtures coming up. And yes, contrary to popular belief, I will include Tottenham as a tough game because form does go out the window in derbies like this. We then got Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. We got Bayern in the Champions League. We're away to Aston Villa as well, who have now started to come back into form. So we've got really tough fixtures coming up in all competitions after the international break. And I get it. I get what people are saying. It's not the end of the world. We're still top. Everything is still fine at the moment, but I'm going in on the back of a very experienced Arsenal fan who have seen us be top of the league before, whether it's under Arteta or under Wenger in the last few years, and it hasn't always stayed that way. I've just been used to all of that. So what do you think, Sam? Are you I've mentioned the fixtures coming up. It's a big test of our mentality, isn't it? To see if we are going to be the big boys or not.
Yeah, I think Tottenham's the big one, to be honest, because I can't remember a North London derby that's meant so much for both teams as it has for quite a while, to be fair. Because obviously they are doing well this year. We can't look past that. They're getting the results. So yeah, it's going to be a big test of character because that's hell of a game to come back to when you've got probably the most disappointing point of this season so far. So it's a big game to bounce back in, and I think that's going to really show the character that we've got, and to use this as fuel. We know that we're not going to win every game, so it's how you use that and you say, right, okay, what do we do from that? What has that taught us in getting that point instead of 3? Like, what can we take away from that? So yeah, I think that Tottenham game's huge, and I think that's really gonna. Well, yeah, I can't remember. Well, I could probably go back for a couple of years, maybe into a bigger game, into the point of obviously with Man City closing the gap a little bit, with Tottenham not being very far behind. It's probably the most important game after the result that we had for a long time, that we make sure that we get maximum points from that game. I don't think we can get anything less, because you mentioned that gap being 4. If
a draw against Tottenham is a loss for me.
Yeah, 100%. Like we can give ourselves that drop of 2 points against Sunderland, but what we can't do is drop any points against Tottenham or Chelsea, I don't think, because they're all teams that are breathing down your neck and that are really close. Yes, there's a points difference, but the way in which both teams are playing, Chelsea and Tottenham, they're certainly not that far behind all of us that are right up there.
No, I get that, and we've got to take a very good number of points from these teams that we're up against. If you want to win the league, you've got to be able to go toe to toe and even win against teams like that that we're gonna be facing. So AFC always says age shouldn't come into it if you're good enough, and Dalman is. Fair enough. Dalman is an excellent player. He's an excellent
He's a fantastic player. We're not saying that he's not absolutely phenomenal. Like, he is. It's just you can't put him into games like that and expect him to. He's not going to be like the reason why he's been successful in games that he's come on is because he's going to have time on the ball and he's going to be able to run at players. You saw from that whole of the 90 minutes that there was not much running at players. So, like, realistically, you're setting the poor lad up to fail because he needs the space to cause chaos, and he didn't have that. So it would just be, I think it would have just been a pointless sub, to be honest.
And I knew that AFC always was going to mention Yamal when it came to age coming into it. Yamal wasn't 15 when he debuted. I think he was 17, so maybe younger than that. But I don't know. I think he's still in school, for God's sake. So yeah,
exactly. Steady on with Max Dalman. Let's not get too excited. Let the kid grow up a bit.
Let him get his GCSEs, and then he can play.
Then he can play against Sunderland. As long as he gets good grades, that's it. Then he can.
And AFC always with a take that I agree on. Unfortunately for some of you, the only person who can stop Arsenal from winning the league is Arteta. I do agree with you on that. And now, and this is because it's the substitute, it's the lack of substitutes. For me, that kind of stopped us from winning. In my view, in my opinion, it was just not being a bit more the lack of defensive subs. I mentioned with Hincapié, but
I do think his hands were tied slightly in terms of his bench. It's not the bench that he would have wanted. I think that I get what you're saying, but I think that's I would have fully agreed if he had more options on the bench, but he was kind of tied. And in the back of your head, you're thinking as well, like, what if I bring someone on in a really physical game like this and they get injured? We're going to be in more trouble. So it is kind of like damage limitation in his head as well. He's thinking, right, okay. So I think there is that aspect as well, because we're in a good position. But if the injuries keep coming and it keeps derailing it, it is going to be, it's a tricky one. It's a really tricky one.
I get it, but why do we keep having these injuries though? Last season, you could make the argument that, this is the first time we've had a proper injury crisis like this last season. But now we're continuing to get more of these injuries, and I just got to think it's not bad luck anymore. I don't know what is going on, but there's something that we're doing that's causing these consistent injuries. In my view, I just I do think also, this is why I say don't ask me if we can win the league or any trophy in particular until April or May when we're in the home stretch, because it's still early. As much as I've enjoyed our unbeaten run, I've enjoyed seeing us beat teams like Atletico Madrid. I've enjoyed, our clean sheet record, but still, it was still October, November. We're still in the early days. You don't win trophies in November, right? So you got to remember, it's November. So this is why I'm not going to be all, we're amazing, we're going to win the league, we're going to win it all, woohoo, now, because we're very much in the early days. And I've seen Arsenal before, right? I know what we can be like sometimes when it comes to trying to maintain a lead at the top. I'm being a lot more cautious.
Yeah, I think it's think we're certainly at a point where there is no excuses anymore. Like that's the point that we're at, because we have now got the thing that we lacked last year was the depth in the squad and having the choices, but now we have that. So it's certainly kind of that point where there is no excuses anymore. And I even said that last season, and lots of people did, to be fair. It was that kind of, right, there has been a little bit of a let-off because of these injuries. So because of this monumental where half your team's out, that is going to be allowed. But I certainly know that this season there is no excuses at all. Like, come the end of the season, if we're, I don't want to say it because I don't want to tempt fate, but come the end of the season, we're in a position that we don't want to be in. There is certainly no excuses anymore. So it's that kind of win or bust now for me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we got Eze, we got Gyökeres, we got the great Andrea Berta as our sporting director. Arteta's got all of these great things around him now, so it's up to him to deliver some silverware for us. There can be no excuses for him this season. AFC always says, question to Sam and Lee. What was the excuse for the Liverpool game where he played 3 fridges in midfield, never went to Anfield to win that game, and Liverpool were there for the taking? So this was referring to when he played 3 DMs in midfield against Liverpool.
Right. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go, Lee?
I think Lee's busy at the moment.
I can't talk at the minute, mate. I'm out.
No worries. Do you want me to remove you or okay?
I think that's different. I don't think you set up into any game to not want to win. So, like, to say you go into a game not wanting to win, first of all, that doesn't happen.
I personally think he wanted to play for a cheeky set piece and then take the 3 points and run. That was what I think he was playing for. Maybe,
but I don't think you set up and go into any game not wanting to win the game. It seems quite, even though it was recent, it seems like quite a while ago for me. So I'm just trying to kind of jog my memory back. But I remember watching the game, and I don't think there was much in that game for either team. I think it was one of those games that a special moment won that game. I don't think that was necessarily the fault of either manager or either team, really. It was 2 teams at the start of a season where there was massive expectations on both teams to go and do something serious this season. So I think it was that, right, okay, we don't want to, it's that kind of mentality. We don't want to do anything wrong, and we don't want to cost our team the points. So it was kind of that very tetchy and defensive from both teams, actually. It wasn't really much in that game, and I think it could have swayed either way. It was just that one moment of brilliance. So I don't know if that answers the question. I'm just going to look at it to make sure again.
I mean, for that Liverpool game, I would have preferred it if Eze started on the left, I think it was. I think we would have gone a bit more, this is what I said beforehand. Don't go all out attack against Liverpool, because that's just a recipe for disaster. But be a bit more, I would have liked to see Eze start in that game rather than be on the bench.
I think Liverpool were a completely different team as well then to what they are now. And we were a completely different team back then to what we are now. So it was really early on. It was, like I say, both teams thinking, right, okay, if we make a wrong decision now, or we make a wrong move, and if we cost our team the points, we're going to not start off well. So I think it was that. I don't necessarily think it was any fault of anyone, really. If I look back and think about it logically, it was just that had we had that game now, we would, I don't want to say we win, but I'm pretty comfortable in saying that we could have. Go on.
Well,
I'm pretty comfortable to say we could have caused
all against Sunderland.
Problems.
So
no, but we could have caused problems because Liverpool are a completely different team to what they are. So I think it's certainly going to be an interesting one on the return fixture because, yeah.
Yeah, and one more before we head off. AFC Wizards, have you noticed when Gyökeres plays, he takes the pressure off from our wingers? I have noticed that. You don't see Saka getting double marked because now we've got an array of options on the attack now with Eze, Saka, Gyökeres. So the teams don't have to focus on one individual player. And he also, as it says, Elise will cause us problems on Arsenal's left side. Yeah, that's why I'm hoping for. I mean, we'll get to the buying game when we get there. I think a lot of players from that squad will cause us problems, namely one former ex-Spurs player. But yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Anyway, I think that is it. Is there anything you want to discuss, Mr. Wilson?
No, not really. I think that's obviously I've got this international break now to calm down because certainly last Saturday with the men's and the women's, it was a torrid time. So yeah, obviously I hate it when international breaks are on, but actually after watching those two games and how angry I was at the start of that Sunderland game, I'm certainly gonna fancy that weekend where I just don't have to worry because that was stress and a half.
Of course, before we get to that, we've got Champions League and the women's on Wednesday.
We have Bayern Munich as well. It's funny.
Absolutely. It'll be a tough day.
Women and the men having played against Bayern Munich.
It's they're absolutely flying at the minute.
And it's at the Allianz.
Bayern Munich. Yeah, they're serious this season. So obviously we've got another ACL as well today. We're looking really, 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 really bleak at the back.
Bring up the details, Sam. Tell them the details, mate.
So Katie Reed has come out with an ACL today. She started a couple of the games earlier on in the season, to be fair, at centre back before Lottie came back.
In place of Leah Williamson as well, don't forget.
Yeah, so she's just come back into training, but obviously I don't know the ETA between training and pitch because it's been a lengthy time out for her, so I imagine they'll be cautious. So yeah, I am not looking forward to that game. Obviously we played really well at the weekend. There's lots of positives to take for that, but I'm not necessarily looking forward to that one from what I'm hearing about what Bayern have been doing this season.
We're defending champions, Sam. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, they've regardless of that, they Bayern are serious this season. So it's going to be one of those ones that again we need to stand up really tall and do what we can. But yeah, no, anything apart from the women's, just forget about Saturday and move on. But we did play really well, deserved. Regardless of all the controversy and stuff, you can go and look at it. I'm not going to go into it. I
might talk a bit about that tomorrow.
Yeah, go for it. But there's a lot of obviously there's not been many positives to take from the season as of so far. It's been very turbulent. But there was certainly lots of positives to take from Saturday, regardless of anything that happened. So hopefully we can use that to kick on. But I do think January is really important for the women's to bring in some players because there's massive gaps that have been left that need to be filled. So yeah, I do think that's going to be telling. I think it's going to be okay because I think in January for the men's in the transfer window will be okay. Like if he wants to, I don't know. I don't see that we're going to need January as much
signing any players in January.
No, I don't think we need. I don't think we need to. That's the thing, and that's going to be really good because that's never been the case before. We've always been like, oh my God, we're going to need this, this, and this. So it's going to be really nice that we don't have to worry about that. But I think it's going to need to be a big one for the women's for sure.
I think that should do it. So you could, a lot has changed since I was last in admin. They're all in different places.
It's changed.
Let's hope and pray our players come back without any injuries from this international break. Absolutely, and let's hope we get some players back from injuries that will happen beforehand. Anyway, you can follow these lovely people here on X, and yeah, I think we're gonna head off now. So until next time, guys, thank you for watching Gooner Gathering, and we will see you next time. Love you, bye.
See ya.